Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome back to another battle in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. In today's battle, the English king has been excommunicated from the church. Enraged at this insult, he gathered his army and along with his Burgundian allies set sail from the south of France. His plan was to invade Italy from Sicily, thus avoiding the treacherous mountain passes of Italy's northern border. The Pope was aware of the impending invasion and marched his army into Sicily. Together with the Sicilian king, he moved to intercept the English on the open and arid plains of the Sicilian countryside. Let's begin with the defenders of the Catholic faith and begin the army comps by taking a look at the Papal States, commanded by Tattoos and Welding. And you guys who have followed my channel for quite some time know that my French pronunciations aren't all that good. Well, guess what? My Italian is even worse, so I am going to try the best that I can to pronounce these properly, but any help in the comments is definitely appreciated. But let's take a look at what Tattoos and Welding has brought for the Pope's royal army. In the front lines, he has 4 units of the Tier 2 Ballistari Provisionati. Behind that, he has a staunch line of spears. He actually has 10 units of the Hospitaller Sergeant Spearmen. Closely behind that, we have 4 units of the Ancieri Provisionati. So he's got archers and crossbowmen on the battlefield. He actually has 4 units of Italian mercenaries, 2 on either flank. And then in the center, he has his best units. He's got 3 units of the Uomini d'Arme Appidiati, I hope is how you say that. We've also got the Pope himself, represented as a general's bodyguard unit. There he is on the battlefield. Now, of course, this isn't representative of any particular pope. We're just role-playing for the sake of this battle. But right behind that, he has 2 units of the Spadaccini Cernetti, or Cerniti, something like that. But some sword and shield units, also tier 3, so we'll see how they do on the battlefield. And then one thing I have noticed with all these armies is there's quite a lot of cavalry. We've got 2 units of the Equitatores, or Equitatores? I don't know, it sounds Spanish almost. But he also has some very elite cavalry, good elite Italian cavalry, 6 units in fact of the Uomini d'Arme, or the Uomini d'Arme. I don't know which one that is. Well, that is it for the Pope's forces, so let's go ahead and take a look at his ally. Defending their homeland alongside the Pope, we have the Kingdom of Sicily, commanded by Jacquo, or Jacquo. I don't know how you pronounce your name. I hope that is it, and apologies if that is incorrect. But he hasn't brought as many ranged units in his army. He's only got 4 units of crossbows. He has 2 units of the mercenary Genoese crossbowmen, and then on the flanks he has 1 unit of the Ballistrieri Cerniti. So 4 units of crossbows total, and then he also has 2 gunner units as well. He's got Sciopetari Provisionati, I think is how you pronounce it. Forgive the horrible Italian accent, but he's got one of them over here as well. But what he has lacking, or where he is lacking in his range department, he has a lot of cavalry to make up for it. In fact, he has 6 units of the Uomini d'Arme, or Uomini d'Arme? Uomini d'Arme? I don't know. He has 6 units of the heavy shock cavalry here, but he also has 2 units of the high period units as well. You can see that they're a lot more lightly armored than their late counterparts. But taking a look at what else he has here, he's got a couple units of the Uomini d'Arme Appidiati. So he's got some there. He's got some swordsmen here. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's the Targionieri, oh gosh, Forzecco, possibly? But he's got them on the flanks, and then in the center, we've actually got some of the Lancieri Provisionati. I can pronounce that at least. We've got another one of the Targonieri in the center. And then we've got some Aragonese swordsmen here, so some mercenaries from Aragon. I like to see that. Very colorful army roster here. We've also got some Piscieri Provisionati, so some pikemen on the battlefield. And of course, we do have the King of Sicily himself on the battlefield. And that pretty much rounds out his force. We'll take a look at it in more detail when the battle begins. And now we come to the enraged English king and his glorious army on the battlefield. England is commanded by Legatus, and in the front lines we have 3 units of the high period retinue longbowmen. Right behind that, we have 5 units of Tier 2 Spearmen, or High Period Spearmen. And then we've got 1 English Foot Knight Late Period and 4 English Foot Knights High Period. We have the English King here, who is actually hidden inside a bush, so he is definitely furious at the Pope, but does not want to show his rage this early on in the battle. Right next to him, we've got 4 units of the Late Period Billmen, the Heavy Billmen, so they should do well on the battlefield against the Sicilian Pikes. Moving over here, we've got another wing that is just starting to move forwards, consisting of 4 units of the mercenary Welsh Longbowmen. And I do love that we have some mercenaries on the battlefield here. We've got the Aragonese for Sicily, we've got Welsh fighting for England. Really love 12-12 rosters for all of that variety. And then right behind that, we actually have, how many do we have here? Looks like 6 units? No, 7 units, actually, of the English Foot Knights of the early period. And I know he has brought early period knights, but these guys are actually very solid in melee. They have very good stats. And I think since the very beginning, when I started playing 12-12, these were the guys to bring on low-fun battles, because they have very good stats. Actually, we can take a look at it here. Their armor is 55, which is amazing for a Tier 1 unit. And their melee attack and melee damage is not too bad. In fact, they used to actually be a smaller unit as well. I think a unit of 90. So now that they match other units on the battlefield as far as numbers go, they should do pretty well. And finally, over here, we have the Great English Knights. We actually have 5 units of the Late Period English Knights. And then we have 1 unit of High Period Knights at the very end here. And that rounds out the English army. So let's go ahead and take a look at his ally. And finally, we come to the allies of England, the Duchy of Burgundy, commanded by Letholdus. And I hope that's how you pronounce your name. If not, I do apologize. But in the front lines, we have 4 units of Pauvis crossbowmen, followed closely behind by 3 units of the Ordonnance longbowmen. But then way over here on this flank, we have a Ducal Household Guard, or a Ducal Household longbowman, excuse me. Behind that, we have 5 units of Pavesier late period. Behind that, we have 1 unit of the Ducal Household Goussamier, and then we have 2 units of basic halberdiers. For the mainline infantry, we actually have 2 units of high period sergeants, 3 units of the dismounted chevalier, the early. And finally, look at these guys' uniforms. Such an awesome unit, the Ducal Heavy Foot Guards High Period. Such an awesome color scheme for these guys, and variety here is just amazing on all of the shields. A really, really cool unit for sure. Behind that, we have 4 units of the dismounted chevalier. This is the heavy shock infantry. Very close behind that, we have the Duke of Burgundy on the battlefield. So he is here to support the English king in his endeavors to get back at the Pope for his excommunication. And over here we have 5 units of the Burgundian gendarmes. Tier 3 heavy shock cavalry in wedge formation and ready for battle. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, we have the English king activating his heavy English knights to run down the unsuspecting Sicilian crossbowmen. And as you can see, I don't think that the Sicilian player was expecting the English to charge in like this. However, he was very successful in doing so. The terrified Sicilians running behind their spear line, but I don't even know if this spear line is going to be enough to stop the English cavalry. They're only 3 rows deep, and they're not in shield wall, continually moving forward, so the English knights should be able to power on through, and they're actually going to get a really solid charge off there as well. So things are looking pretty disastrous for the Sicilians at this point. We even have one of the units of English knights running behind the spear line and hitting it quite hard in the rear. You can see that the morale of that spear unit is not looking too good at the moment. One of the units of Ballestaria has broken. The second one may well return. However, we do have, it looks like, the Sicilian heavy cavalry trying to go after this unit of archers. They may actually get a pretty solid charge onto those billmen there. Yeah, the heavy billmen getting hit a bit there, but looks like the retinue longbowmen were able to dissuade the Sicilian cavalry from charging in further. However, they got a really good cavalry charge on those mercenary Welsh longbowmen, but we've got 2 units of English knights sandwiching this unit in place, and with that we also have another unit of Sicilian heavy cavalry trying to peel one of those English knights away. And just as that is happening, we have Tattoos and Welding with his papal cavalry charging the Burgundian gendarmes. Now, it looks like the papal cavalry didn't do too well due to the fact that the Burgundian gendarmes are actually in a wedge formation. You can see where it's a 2v1, the Burgundian gendarmes are losing, but on a 1v1 basis, yeah, the Omini d'Armes there really took a pounding. These two are actually wavering here, and it's actually 4 cavalry versus 2, so the Burgundians definitely have the upper hand here in this cavalry fight. And the other thing that I don't really like about Tattoos charging this cavalry in here is that he's charged in the cavalry into the Burgundian gendarmes so close to the Burgundian main line. So you can see that he has full units of infantry ready to move on in to lend a hand where he may be losing. So this cavalry engagement is not going well for Tattoos and Welding. And once he loses the cavalry advantage here, that is going to be a bit of a worry, because the Burgundian player will have all this cavalry to flank around, and his army is going to be a sitting duck at this point. He is finally moving his crossbows and his archers forwards a little bit further, but I think the damage is done. It's a little bit too late. Let's go ahead and run over here where we've actually got the English king moving in. We've got a gunner unit, but the English king just boiling over with rage has actually probably not heeded the advice of his generals to charge on in this early in the battle, and he has actually moved in to engage the Sicilians himself. He may actually get a really solid charge on the backs of these pikemen. No, actually, it looks like he was trying to disengage. And look at this, guys. We have the the high period cavalry actually sandwiching the king's bodyguard between this pike unit and the Sicilian cavalry. So if he turns this pike unit around, that English king is as good as dead. We've also got the gunners here actually firing into the flanks of the English king. Let's actually zoom in and see whereabouts he is, and if he is going to die as he tries to pull out. Where are you, English king? Where are you? I don't see him. But he is losing a lot of his bodyguard there as he tries to disengage. Oh my goodness, no! Okay, back to slow motion. We have to see him. Where is he? There he is! There he is! The English king! Oh, I think he's realizing his mistake now as his bodyguard is cut down, and he is cut down as well! Oh no! That is not good this early on in the battle. The English losing their general right away, and already the English knights here are starting to waver. We've got some heavy billmen in here that are getting fired in the back by the Sciopeteri Provisionati, the gunners. So things are looking pretty good for the Sicilians over there. Yes, and Tattoos and Welding taking this advantage of his cavalry not doing so well, I should say, against the Burgundian gendarmes. They possibly have broken in return from routing, and now he is charging the Pavi's crossbow, and he's done a good amount of damage to 3 of the units, and he is still not done actually hitting the Ducal household longbowmen. That is really bad, and I don't know why the Burgundian player was so slow to react to this. He needs to get his cavalry over here. He's just running down the entire line. Oh no! Save your archers. Push up your spears. Pull back your archers. Do anything. It looks like with the sheer amount of numbers and just the solidity of the Ducal household longbowmen, they are able to hold there. But not before 2 depleted units of cavalry do a lot of damage to that ranged line. However, I think he was more focused over here on wrapping up the remains of the the papal cavalry here. I think I was referring to this as Sicilian cavalry. My apologies, it is papal cavalry. But how are things going over here? It's just an absolute mess We have battle lines forming every which way. We've actually got cavalry hitting some of the English foot knights from the flank here. We've got another one that's charged in to the English reserves. So the English foot knights getting hammered by the Sicilian cavalry. We've got a fresh unit, it looks like here, just sitting and waiting. I would actually maybe charge into these foot knights here. Let's zoom in and actually enjoy this charge. He will charge into the backs of his own men a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, maybe once he finishes there, I would turn around and charge into these guys, or possibly the English foot knights here. But this is a juicy target, these foot knights. However, they're not doing too well, I don't think, against the pikemen anyways. But yeah, just pandemonium over here. Battle lines forming everywhere. This isn't really even a battle line, I would say. It's a huge mess. But nevertheless, the English king is dead, so you can see that, yeah, a lot of the heavy billmen are starting to waver here. We've got some fresh units here of English foot knights that were wavering. Thankfully, they did steady themselves. But let's quickly jump over here and see what else is going on. And I think this is a huge mistake for the Burgundian player. We can see that Tattoos and Welding's front line consists of Tier 1 spearmen, and that's pretty much it. He does have elites here on the flank, but that cavalry engagement that the Burgundian player has won is all for nothing now, because he's not actually taking advantage of the fact that Tattoos and Welding doesn't have any cavalry. So he could actually charge a lot of these archers, and Tattoos and Welding really couldn't do much about it, except for moving up his spear line. And he could also get around and see if he could hit the papal general from behind. But yeah, there's not a lot of movement over here for the Burgundian player. He is sending some units over to help the English player, though. So I can see where his thought process is, trying to just balance this huge mess of a flank over here. But right now, he really needs to capitalize on the fact that he won the cavalry engagement against the papal cavalry, and he's just not doing that. Good use of the pikemen here, though. We do have some of the English units that are flanking around. You can see that they're starting to hit the pikemen pretty hard from the side and rear. And actually, that's probably going to cause that pikeman unit to start wavering. Yeah, that's not looking good. The gunners actually should be set up over here to fire into those English foot knights, but it looks like he is trying to focus down at the dismounted chevalier. We've got the heavy shock infantry of Sicily chasing them away. Over here as well, we've got the English foot knights challenging the heavy shocks of Sicily. That is not a battle that they will win, unfortunately. And we've also got a couple of units of English foot knights that do see a bit of an opening here, so maybe they will try and move over and through the gaps here and get these gunners, albeit the gunners are just firing down at them relentlessly. Okay, one of them has engaged. Why is he dumping all of his units onto this pike unit? I wouldn't do that. This is a good call, though. Actually, getting those gunners stuck in melee. Well done there. We do have some spearmen that are being pushed forwards to lend a hand, but I would try to get those gunners out of there as quickly as possible. Now, finally, we do have some movement from the Burgundian player, but I'm thinking this is a little bit too late at this point. If we look at the man count, the Pope and his allies started at a disadvantage, but now they actually have about a 300-man advantage. So yeah, I think, it's unfortunate, but I think he waited a little bit too long. Now they are going to go into a bit of a skirmish phase. Look at the color on these shields, though, too. Absolutely beautiful. Tattoos and Welding, being more of an experienced 12-12 player, he will probably start to focus down the Ducal Household Goussinier back here, and also the Halberdiers. No point in wasting your ammunition on those spears. He's also sent his Italian mercenaries over here to lend a hand against the English. So the Pope does recognize the possibility of the Sicilians needing aid, and they have sent some units to help. You can hear the relentless arrow fire, though, coming down from both sides. I believe that we do have the Ordnance longbowmen here firing down on the flanks of the Italian mercenaries. We also have the Ballistari Provisionati firing up and over. Tattoos and Welding is going to have to move back his archers, though, as the Burgundians move forwards. But now we're starting to see a bit of a battle line. We've actually got some of the Spadaccini Sernetti over here challenging the Spearmen. I can see where the English player is trying to gain a hold here and form a battle line in the center, but his left has just collapsed. And I think that is much, well, it's more to do with the fact that the Sicilian cavalry have just been able to get so many good rear charges. And I'm shocked at this poor unit of pikemen that they are still holding while being surrounded here. Look at them being cut down from all sides, but they have not broken as of yet. Desperately trying to hold the English. And there they go, finally breaking on the battlefield there. But it's too little too late. Yeah, oh, we've actually got a charge in from the Sicilian cavalry. That was a good charge into the backs of all those units, and look at all the wavering that has caused. My goodness. 3 full units. English foot knights, the English foot knights over here have broken. Wow, 3 units. That is what happens when the general has died. 1 shock cavalry charge and 3 of your units just break from the battlefield. And yeah, at this point, England has just collapsed over here. And I think the Burgundian player knows that he must push in now, or it's going to become a 2v1. So he is slowly starting to move his forces forwards. Over here, though, do we have some Burgundian sergeants? Yes, they are actually getting some retribution against the Papal States, cutting down these Italian mercenaries. And yeah, they are really starting to look like their ranks are quite thin here. I can't imagine that the Italian mercenaries will hold for too much longer. Come on. Come on, push through. We've got more Italian mercenaries there. You can see that the victorious Sicilians are just mopping up the remains of the English in the distance there. And we've got, is this the dismounted Chevalier? Yes, it is. I love these green ones, man, yes. I haven't seen that before, these fully green ones. That is epic. Nice. Reminds me of my channel colors. That deep forest green, very cool. But again, pushing more units into the Italian mercenaries, that's not going to be a good matchup for them. However, it looks like we do have one of the units of PAPACY actually hitting the flank of these Italian mercenaries, and they are surrounded and broken from the battlefield. However, the Italian mercenaries over here are pushing back the Chevalier. We've got 2 units, the Spadaccini Sernetti, are trying to destroy these Ordnance longbowmen here on the flanks, and I feel so bad for the Burgundian player at this point. He's having to use his archers to hold his flank, but look at this battle line here. And this is what I call a battle line. We've got all of those Hospitaller Sergeant Spearmen there, holding back the entirety of the Burgundian army. And around the tree, and we've got more battle line. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm really curious to find out what he's been doing with his cavalry. Look at this, he's just moving it now. That is so too late. 3 elite units of Burgundian gendarmes, and now he doesn't really even have a cavalry advantage that much anymore, because it's just too late in the battle. The balance of power is very even, and Tattoos and Welding does have to be careful here not to throw his general in, because 3v1 he probably will lose. He is having to sacrifice this unit of Ballestarii Provisionati as the cavalry just rides on through, but it's a sacrifice that he is willing to make as he charges in his elite heavy shock infantry. That is where he's going to take that cavalry advantage and remove it from the Burgundian player. And surprisingly, the Burgundian gendarmes here broken by a very depleted unit of Papal cavalry. And as the Burgundian gendarmes try to withdraw, a lot of their unit that is remained in melee is being cut down. Let's quickly go over here, though, and enjoy some of this battle line here. The elite infantry fighting the elite infantry. Yes, yes, yes. And don't forget that the Burgundian general is still alive, so his units should hold for quite some time. We've also got the Gusenier over here with some of the dismounted Chevalier. They're actually hitting these Italian mercenaries from the flank. I don't think Tattoos realizes that that's happening. But then we also have the Hospitaller Sergeant Spearman here, and this is what I mean. Look at all of the morale here. The morale is really not looking very good. So if the Burgundian player had just reacted a little bit earlier, he may have been able to just punch through these lines, and that would have been a huge problem for Tattoos and Welding, and also the Sicilian player would have been occupied with England at that point, and wouldn't have been able to lend a hand. We've got some English units over... Oh no, actually some Burgundian Chevaliers. So is there any English left on the battlefield at this point? It doesn't look... Oh yeah, he's got some Welsh longbows over here. Retinue longbowmen. Yeah, so he does have some archers remaining, but it's pretty much all down to the Burgundian player at this point. Let's go ahead and put it back onto play. And hear the cries of battle. I love spear-on-spear action as well, when spears are fighting spears. I don't know what it is. It is boring for some, but I just find it so cinematic. Like, two shield walls just pressing against each other, trying to force one another back. And definitely, the Burgundian spearmen outclass the lightly armored Hospitaller spearmen in this occasion. However, looks like over here they're actually starting to form holes in the defense of the Burgundian player. However, the Duchy of Burgundy has probably had to redeploy some of his forces over here. Yeah, you can see he's got some Pavesiers, some dismounted Chevalier. So he's trying to deal with the Sicilians and his annoying cavalry. We've got another cavalry charge coming in over here. Oh my goodness. That was disgusting. That surely has routed that unit. Yep, dismounted Chevalier breaking from the battlefield and just pulling on through and riding away before the infantry can lock it down in melee. We've also got a unit of Sicilian Italian mercenaries moving in to fight these spears. Let's actually see them charging in. Not the best. Oh, yeah, a couple of them being skewered as they push themselves onto the halberdiers. Very, very nice. This land battle is just action-packed. I've had to quickly run to the other sides to make sure I'm not missing anything. And look at this. As I said, the Hospitaller Sergeant Spearman being broken, and we do have the Pavesier actually in the archer line of the Papal States. So if he had reacted sooner, as I said, he may have been able to do some pretty serious damage to the Papal army. Thankfully, the Hospitaller Sergeant Spearmen have returned from routing, and they pushed back in to defend the archers. Now, where is the Papal General? He is way over here, and we've got the two remaining Burgundian gendarmes. Look at all of these crossbows over here, too. Just moving up the hilltop, desperately trying to cut them down at a range. And the Pope is right here to protect his beloved crossbows as well. 4 units of Ballistari Proficienati, all tied up by these 2 units. And we've also got 2 units of heavy shock infantry moving over there as well. But now we've got all of the infantry pretty much from Burgundy has broken, and it's down to the archer line. Now we do, as I said, have the Duke's bodyguard over here, and he is finally getting the Sicilian cavalry to commit to an engagement. And I believe that that is the Duke right there with his golden helm. I do want to keep an eye on him and see if he does disengage, we will disengage as well. But as most of the troops are just running down enemy units here, let's just enjoy a little bit of a duel here. There we go. Yeah, it looks like he is. Is he disengaging? He is. Okay. So let's see where he goes. Has he broken that cavalry unit? Yes, he has. Okay, well done there. Now, if he gets a rear charge on this unit, it will break it and then gets rid of those gunners. Then he will be able to start picking off these spear units one by one. So it actually is quite a close battle, despite what the balance of power is saying. What he needs to do is to get those 2 units of Burgundian gendarmes over here to help out as well. There we go. Yes, yes. Yes, well done, Burgundy. Well done. Breaking on through with the Duke's bodyguard. And now, okay, the gunners looks like they're being taken care of by the English retinue longbowman. He needs to come over here and destroy these 2 spear units. And what is the man count here? 1,700 to 900, so it's not close as far as man count is concerned. And we do have the papal cavalry moving in, charging the Burgundian cavalry. There's the Pope actually getting his mace wet there. Okay, so yes, we've actually got the Duke of Burgundy charging on in. Now, I need to find where both of them are. That's not him there. That's not him either. Oh, this is him back here. Okay. Oh, he took an arrow to the back. Oh, please do not kill your Duke. And then if I can get eyes on the Pope. Where is... There he is. Okay. So we've got the Pope there in the center. And then back here, actually, we've got the Duke of Burgundy, who does have an arrow in his rear shoulder, and he is actually fighting. Oh no, he's actually fighting some of the cavalry here. Get out of there, Duke. What? Oh my goodness, he actually broke the Pope. Okay, we need to slow this down. We need to slow this down and find where the Pope is. Where is the Pope? There he is, okay. And the Duke is very close to him. The Duke and the Pope are literally neck and neck. If the Duke kills the Pope, I'm gonna lose it. This is such an epic moment. Come on. The Duke of Burgundy and the Pope. Come on. Come on. No, don't get in his way. Don't take his glory. Get out of the way. How dare you? Come on. Don't let him escape. Don't let him escape. Oh my goodness. Okay, the Duke is riding away, but somebody else is fighting him here. He's 2v1. The Pope is surrounded. He's fighting 2 Burgundian knights here. Oh my goodness. As the longbows retreat here, the Pope is just stuck behind enemy lines. His bodyguard has abandoned him. Oh, come on. What's going on here? Oh, he's actually fighting a longbowman now. No way! Killed by the longbowman? Oh, that is the lowest way to go. Look at him. No, El Pope. Slain on the battlefield by what is this unit? One of the ducal household longbows. Oh my goodness, and now we've actually got the Duke here. I've got to keep this on slow motion because I want to see where the Duke is now. Where the heck is he? Do not die before I see you. Here you are. You're at the back. Okay. I love how this whole battle has just become me watching generals fight. Okay, yeah, let's follow him. Yeah, he's charging through. He's charging through the archers. Ooh, a lot of his bodyguard is being cut down. I don't like to see that. Oh, wow! One of the longbows actually, or one of the archers taking a shot at the Duke himself. He was able to block it with his shield. I don't know if you guys saw that. Come on. Yes. We got the epic music. He's just riding on through. I don't really like how he's just riding on through, though, because as he's doing that, his bodyguard is being cut down. Here we go. Looks like he is committing to some battle now. Come on, kill that peasant scum. There we go. With your bodyguard. Look how bloodied up he is. His golden helmet shining crimson red with the glint of the sunlight. He is definitely trying to get some retribution here, because he knows that the battle is lost at this point. If we take a look at the balance of power... Oh no, there he goes! So that is so crazy, guys. The Duke of Burgundy and the Pope were actually killed by peasant archer units. Well, I guess the Pope was killed by a ducal household guard unit, or a household longbowman unit. So I think the ducal units are pretty solid. But yeah, now the Duke of Burgundy, he was taken down by some basic Ensiri. That is an embarrassment. And just like that, we have a Pyrrhic victory. So what an epic land battle. I can't believe that the English king, in his fit of rage, threw his life away at the beginning of the battle. And I think that that just kind of snowballed into what we see as the result here today. I'm pretty sure the Sicilian king is still very much alive. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. Alright guys, here are the end results, and now that I am seeing the Sicilian king here, and that little speck of red, I'm not even sure if he survived the battlefield. I think that maybe 1 or 2 men in his bodyguard survived, but unfortunately I missed whether or not he did survive. However, we have eyewitness reports that the Pope, the King of England, and the Duke of Burgundy perished on the battlefield. So let's take a look at Sicily versus England, because they were the ones that were fighting each other in the beginning. Some really good kills here on his heavy shock infantry, 421 kills with that one unit. His pikemen doing pretty well. Italian mercenaries doing excellent, 200 plus kills. The rest are kind of a mixed bag. Well, two good kills on his gunners, 193 and 151, and then really good kills using his cavalry to just mop up the rear of the English lines there. One of the heavy cavalry units getting 410 kills. Looking at England, yeah, very unfortunate that the King of England died so early on. But the rest of his units did hold their own. We got 301 for the late period English foot knights. The heavy billmen were kind of a mixed bag, but one of them did okay. Not so much for the English foot knights the early period. I think that's because they were mostly fighting the pikemen and the Italian mercenaries, so they couldn't really get into melee with the units and get good kills. With one of his retinue longbow, 229, that is quite good, and his cavalry, 253 and 152 are the highest. Looking at the Pope versus Burgundy here. The Pope actually getting 160 kills with his bodyguard, but the Duke of Burgundy, the MVP of the battle, with 298. Yeah, looking at the cavalry here, not high kills because they were beaten earlier on, but because the Burgundian player didn't capitalize on that win, he doesn't have very high kills on his cavalry either, which is unfortunate. Taking a look at those spearmen, they actually held their own, a lot of them getting upwards close to 100 kills. Looking at the mainline infantry, though, yeah, his spears did do better, albeit they're more expensive. 354 kills for that Goussemier, the Ducal household. And we've got the Ordonnance longbowmen here, but the Ducal household longbowmen, 132 kills, plus one of those is the Pope. So I'm sure one of them will be heading back to the Duchy of Burgundy, hail the hero. And that's pretty much all I can comment on. The Italian mercenaries here did quite well. They held their own. But all in all, a very fun battle. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but this battle was sent in by Tattoos and Welding. So thank you very much, man. I do appreciate it. And more 1212 content to come next week. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.